Hi. Once I wrote this poem, I thought it was funny to think that I'd written a second poem based on a truck, and then I realized that it was odd that I'd written a second poem about a truck with writing on it. So it was that specific, but I think they're very different kinds of trucks, as you'll see if you know the previous poem.
I know the
You know the previous poem. Okay, perfect. Okay, so it's called Dream Machine. Out of the fog of halfway there, stuck on the highway's witless seam, I saw a semi, dubbed in paint, Mummy's nightmare, Daddy's dream. Subtle as a marquee blazing, a running joke that blithely weds marital tension to gas combustion, a premise prized from just 4 words. Before he bought it, he'd endured days, weeks overstuffed with talk, like scenes from her films, chick flicks, where feelings race before they walk, are flaunted like porn flaunts skin with endings that are way too pat. Who writes this stuff, he'd ask. No guy would ever talk like that. The purchase price, the time away, the combination made her sick. He counters, okay, you pick the color. I'm not a total prick. It arrived and the kids ran alongside, yodeling, then climbed it, lickety-split. Look, honey, he laughed, it's like the frickin' Sound of Music. But no sooner was the engine hushed, her talk, that chill, unreckoned tide, dashed worries on small voices. No, no one gets a ride. While he stood speechless, scratching his thigh at the itch that attacked when he imagined her astride him on the bunk stowed in back. He's ruined by a sudden thought. Its paint job matched their fridge. She says, you think it's no big deal, but I can't shake the image. Somehow it comes down to his taste for mindless action flicks in which the hero pilots vehicles into roadblocks, glass, and bricks. Mindlessness could soothe, aquarium-like, but then they got that huge TV, the sensory equivalent of drowning in the open sea. That giant screen acquainted her with all the trappings of his death. The horror fugue of bangs and smashes, a windshield, cleaving jaw from teeth, and oily clouds of fire bellying up to her eyes, unfurled from every angle. If that were real, he'd be fried. With every high-def image, her anger increased in resolution. Now vague worries coalesce. Dim transgressions come to life with the illusion of omniscience. Establishing shot. His truck parked outside a tavern that sits with winking neon-honeyed windows trained on the off-ramp opposite. Cut to interior, decor, rec room chic. Among the figures buzzed by liquor, a woman eager to cash in what she shelled out on clothes and lacquer. Soon they're on the bunk, its creaks quelling thoughts of her past defeats. She smiles at what comes to mind. I won't have to wash the sheets. Days later, he arrives back home with the craze of booze and boredom ebbing in his faithless veins, expecting that she'll still afford him comfort in their soap-smooth bed. The dark smear of him moves to hold her, dense and slow, like jello loosened from its mold. Climbing on top, he predictably places an elbow on each side of her. I'm not a dinner plate, she thinks, and then at least he eats what's offered. One night, with paint and stencil, she tries to help him understand by inscribing the truck's deflector in a loopy schoolgirl hand. The caption's there to remind him to curb his speed and his eyes, their romance teetering on a comma laid bare for every passerby. Next morning, he's up early, and she lies awake, partial to the room where touch is ascendant. The inarticulate holds sway and wonders, was it too much? Most times he's game for a joke, but is that how he'll take it? The door slams as he leaves. She dives under the blanket. His boots make craters in the gravel. She's waiting for the angry howl. Silence. Then the engine starts, his laughter tearing through its growl. Thank you.